Hello. About a month ago I started an experiment to see how long a cactus would take to break down because I'm looking at it as a potential compost ingredient. That experiment started out with me burying some cactus in the ground. Some of it was chopped up, some of it was whole. A part of that experiment was I put a cactus pad in this 5-gallon bucket with some water, and I just wanted to see how that broke down over the course of a month. I had filled this bucket up nearly full, and over the course of a month it's gone down to about 1/3 full, I think. And no more than every day I would rotate this pad and flip it on the other side so that side would get some moisture, but that may have actually delayed the breakdown process of this pad because that pad is still very hard. Let's see if I can pick this up without poking myself. Alright. So the needles here, that needle is very soft. It's not stabbing me like it normally would. That one's still hard. So the little needles are still hard. I don't know if you can hear that, but that is a solid cactus pad there, so it really hasn't broken down at all. It was floating on the surface, so perhaps if I would have weighted it down to where it was submerged the entire month, it would have broken down a little bit better. Or if I would have cut the sunlight out, maybe that would have helped, or cut the oxygen out of there. So I'll probably continue to experiment with that just to see if I would have better results if I deprive this thing of oxygen. So that answers the question, can you just throw a cactus pad in some water and have it break down? No, you can't. Not quickly anyway. Just wanted to point out that this thing has been exposed to pretty high heat due to the weather we've been having here lately. Yesterday it was crazy hot, and this thing really hasn't been affected by the heat at all. No surprise there, it is a cactus. This is where I buried the 5 pads. That one was uncut, that one was cut in half, quartered, sliced, and diced. So I'm going to get these dug up and see what became of them after a month. I dug up the whole pad. As you can see, it's pretty much perfectly preserved there. Some of the needles are still kind of hard. Yeah, that would definitely puncture my skin if I pressed hard enough on it. Here's the pad that was cut in half. You can see here it's starting to rot. This side is okay. Yeah, I could definitely still get punctured there from those needles. But I'd say that's about a quarter of the way rotted there. Here's the piece that was quartered, 2 cuts. That piece is very rotted. So is this one. That one's just beginning to rot there. And then this one's pretty well rotted as well. So 2 cuts. That's not too bad. Here I've got the sliced piece. I'm not even sure if I got all the pieces or not, but this was at least 1, 2, 3 cuts, possibly 4 if there was a little piece on the end, but even this was getting kind of hard to piece together. It kind of feels like I'm on a CSI show putting together a body or something, but every one of these pieces is very gooey and well broken down. So this may be the way to go here. Three cuts, fairly quick and easy. 1 month's time, that's already broken down in the ground. Here's the diced pieces. They're really well broken down. There's only one piece here that's still got some green to it, and it's a little firm still. But this is really well broken down. What did I learn from this little experiment? The whole pad didn't break down at all over the month. A slice pad with 1 cut, about 1/4 of that is broken down. a quartered pad, about 3/4 of that is broken down. That's two cuts. Get out of my shadow. The slice pad, it was pretty well all broken down. That was at least 3 cuts. And then the diced had the most amount of cuts. It was very well broken down as well. So I think slice is the way to go. Least amount of effort, quickest breakdown. So one way you could use these pads is kind of like a slow release fertilizer. Diced would be the quickest nutrient uptake for the plant. Slice would be next. Quartered, halved, and then finally whole. There's no telling how long that one will take to break down. But that's one way you could do that. If you're planting a tree or something, you could maybe throw that down at the very bottom of the hole. Maybe dig the hole a little bit deeper, throw that at the bottom, throw that on top. Maybe layer in some dirt in between those, and then quartered, sliced, and diced, and you'd probably give that tree a pretty good start there. So look for a future video where I do something like build a compost heap with maybe some sifted wood chips and some sliced cactus, something like that. Now that I've learned that cactus can be composted, I can view these as a resource instead of a negative. So whenever I remove cactus, I don't have to kill the entire plant. I can selectively take pads and make it so that the plant survives and puts on new pads so that those pads can be harvested. It won't hurt the plant at all. They put on tons of pads, and once they get so heavy, the pads will drop to the ground. So yeah, this is definitely a great resource here.